Good morning, you beautiful people. I hope you all tried to have a good night's rest in this crazy, turbulent time we're all dealing with. I didn't. I tried, but I didn't, because I just feel charged and I just feel like I have to do something. I have to report on something because I don't have that Twitter following anymore, and Gab is a little bit slow at the moment. I am definitely on there. Edge and I are both definitely on there, but it's going to take a bit of time for them to get their servers up. But I'm sure it's going to be good once it's all leveled out. I'm going to kind of bring up something funny today because I think we all kind of need to laugh. Slowly as the world wakes up to this tech tyranny and what happened a few days ago, and I think this is going to have a huge ripple effect. And so Angela Merkel came out the other day, which I talked about earlier, and criticized this move by Big Tech. Now we also have the French that came out, two massive globalist countries, mind you, saying what shocks me is that it is Twitter that is shutting down Trump's account. The regulation of digital giants cannot and should not be done by a digital oligarchy itself. It is necessary, but it must be done by the states and the justice. Now, they're not saying this because they believe in free speech. They're not saying this because they care about your rights in any sort of way. Why they're saying it? Because these countries kind of work in the opposite faction. The state wants to be the one in control. The state wants to be the one to block certain things and censor you. Now, with this, you might have some of these tech companies that are working with the state. They definitely are, and the mainstream media. But do you think they're finally waking up that, hey, maybe this can happen to them? If Twitter can go and shut down anything within America, these are big companies that are, offshore to them. That they don't run in Europe. These are American companies. Now, what happens if Angela Merkel says something wrong, or in any of the leaders of this country, and Twitter decides to go after them, decides to block them? Now, I just want to read this policy statement from Twitter the other day. It's probably the best self-own you will ever get. It's so how out of touch these people are about what's happened with the Uganda. Now, not many people are tweeting about Uganda. Not many people know about Uganda, but it seems that something that we've missed is Twitter hasn't been doing this just in the US. They haven't been shutting down just political opponents here, but political opponents abroad. So I'll just read this first. Uganda banned social media and beefed up security in the capital on Tuesday, 2 days ahead of the presidential election, pitting Yoweri Museveni, one of Africa's longest-serving leaders, against his opposition frontrunner, Bobi Wine, who is a popular singer. Now, I don't think that can you even get a fair election in Uganda? Let's be honest. But still, that's not really the point of this. Campaigning ahead of the vote has been marred by brutal crackdowns on opposition rallies that have left scores dead and repeated intimidation and arrests of some opposition candidates, their supporters and campaign staff. Videos posted on social media on Tuesday showed a convoy of armored military vehicles heading towards Kampala and then moving slowly through the various streets in the heart of the capital, which typically votes against Museveni. Now, Museveni's been in power since 1986. Now, when someone's been in power for that long, either they're a really good leader or they're really, really corrupt, and this is Uganda. So let's let's assume that he's ruled this country quite with an iron fist. But what Twitter has done with this opposition movement, and what Mussolini apologized for the inconvenience caused by the ban on social media and messaging apps, but he said Uganda had no choice after Facebook took down some accounts which backed his ruling national resistance movement. So this is Twitter trying to play God to the world. This is Twitter trying to be their own national state within themselves. You want to talk about influencing elections? Twitter's been the one trying to influence the elections. Not just that, Big Tech, Facebook as well. You can see it. Now, this is the policy that, how funny is this? Ahead of the Ugandan election, we're hearing reports that the internet service providers are being ordered to block social media and messaging apps. We strongly condemn internet shutdowns. They are hugely harmful, violent basic human rights and principles of an open internet. Can you believe this shit? Are they this out of touch? They do not understand. Earlier this week, in close coordination with our peers, we suspended a number of accounts targeting the election in Uganda. They're targeting the election in Uganda. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. And some of the comments are funny. This is an archived link, so I can't go through them because I don't really use Twitter that much anymore. But I'll show you why. Let's see why Twitter wanted to get involved in this. Let me find this. There we go.
I came to learn that homosexuality was very unhealthy. Very unhealthy.
That's why they got involved in the election, to push their progressive agendas. Now, do I agree with all this? No. Can I take sides in the Ugandan election? Definitely not, because I don't know that much about it. But when other countries try to come and step in, you cause more problems for the country. So what they've done is they've effectively ruined Bobby Wine's campaign, because obviously he was coordinating through social media. Now, like I said, would it have been fair anyway? Probably not. But who are they? Who are they to dictate? Now, I'm going to say, I predict in the future, like I said, there's a lot going on behind the scenes at the moment in other aspects of things. And those are things I can't comment on because I don't know. I don't know. I think we're all very up in the air about that. We all hope the best, but we just don't know. So instead of speculating, I can only talk about what's happening now and what I see as big turning points that is going to happen across the globe. Now, the whole world has seen what these tech companies can do. And I guarantee you, those that are not really deeply entrenched within the cabal system or other independent countries that are not part of it are seeing what's happening here. And they know that, if certain things happen, these tech companies are influencing our political elections, we can shut them off. And they have. Uganda officially just you can't get on Facebook, you can't get on Twitter. It's exactly the same as China now as CCP. So I predict a lot of these countries will get involved in certain ways. Definitely African countries that have the power, because Africa's Africa. Their election processes down there are an absolute mess. And Twitter, of all, and especially the UN, which is highly corrupt in itself as well, are not the saviors of the human race to protect people from what they say or what they do not say. They have officially destroyed this man's campaign by their virtue signaling bullshit. Right now, that could have been a turning point in the country. Maybe this Bobby Wine, and this is just speculation, could have been a good leader. Maybe he could have made a change. Maybe he could have not won the election per se, but could have taken the country in a different direction to open up to. They've officially destroyed that because of their interference. So now he's got no contact over the internet. If the other guy is the way that I'm perceiving him to be and ruling Uganda with an iron fist, that's definitely going to happen now. There's no way to coordinate among the other parties. It's devastating. In this world and how this world works, when it comes to progression and humans growing and us going from one period to another, and it's happened all up to until we kind of got social media, is that the best ideas generally rise to a top in the society. It takes time, but those best ideas take hold, And then they get seeped into our culture, and our culture becomes that way. And the same thing goes with politics and policies. But what's been happening over the last, I'd say, as soon as social media kind of came on board, slowly, but now uh, massively, is that there has been artificial ideas that have been promulgated to the top, and that has been taken hold by a few elites, billionaires, politicians, actors, movie stars, and those that are so robotic and drone-like they follow the state without question. Has taken to the top. Minority ideas have taken to the top, not majority ideas. And we've seen the artificial creation of where we are today. And I definitely see, if it keeps going down this way, that a lot of countries are going to start either creating their own infrastructure because they're seeing how deadly it can be now. I mean, of course, China had to be the head of the game on that with having their own Twitter alternative. I don't think it's WeChat, but it's something along those lines. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But they created their own infrastructure like that. They've got their own YouTube, which is Bibi, I think. Right? Yes, it's a communist country, and yes, it should be open free to the world. But now we're kind of getting an understanding why some countries would go that route. Because when an international company, tech oligarchs have this sort of power over world politics, it is going to become a problem everywhere. Everywhere. Not just in the States, everywhere. And I can see a lot more countries stepping up from that. So I just want to cover because I thought that was the funniest thing ever. The funniest thing ever. So out of touch, these people. They don't even understand. And half the lemmings that follow them will be, saying, like this comment down there, they just removed a dangerous criminal from their site. They don't. It doesn't even click to them. They don't even get it. They don't understand. Right? And they probably never will. So I hope you all stay beautiful. I hope you all try to have a good day. Try to find some good news. I don't know. Go out and garden, cook something. I don't know. Just try to stay ravenous. This is a speaker.